Hello, everyone. We are going off the rails on this Disney show dedicated to tangents. I am your conductor, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside a bunch of great people, including Jackie Gailey.
Hi, everybody.
Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
And Denny Sunderly.
Hi there.
Hello. Well, before we get started, we have a great episode for you, but I do need to mention that this show is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content, you want to support us more, please consider booking your next vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money, and you get that world-class Dreams Unlimited Travel agent support. So head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com and get your free, no obligation quote today. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you are subscribed to the Dis Unplugged. Please make sure you're hitting the thumbs up on this video and you're leaving us comments, questions, and video suggestions in the comments section on YouTube. And if you're listening to this, please make sure that you're subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts. And also, if you're listening through Apple Podcasts, please make sure that you leave us a 5-star rating and review if you're enjoying Off the Rails. But now we have to get on with this week's show, and we're going to talk about something that's very important for knowing about Florida in the summer particularly, but I think we're going to get into all random times of the year, and that's weather. And this was an episode that was sparked in my head yesterday, and I'm sure it was also sparked in Rhino's head yesterday too, because obviously I don't want to date it, but we're literally both out in theme parks and without any real warning, because Florida will always say like, oh, there's a percentage chance of rain every single day. I mean, most places are like that. But in Orlando, you know, it could say it all morning, all through the afternoon, and you'll never see a drop of rain the entire day, even if it says 100% chance. And what happened yesterday was just the heavens opened up, and it was the hardest rain I have seen since one of the two non-hurricane hurricanes came through Orlando. It was epic rain, and there was a lot of people caught in it.
Yeah.
And it was insane. So on this episode of Off the Rails, we're going to just kind of randomly talk about the weather, what to expect from Florida in the summer, what to expect other times of year, and what you need to know about the weather on your vacation. So who wants to jump in right away? I'm sure Rhino has thoughts.
Oh, yeah, because it was like literally... It had said it was going to rain. I went inside thinking, we got to go inside. It's going to rain. We waited it out for about 45 minutes. I was like, well, it didn't really, because I was at Hollywood Studios to begin with. And I was like, let's go inside Baseline Tap House, and that'll be our excuse to have a drink and a rest for a second. And I was about 45 minutes to an hour went by, and I was like, well, the sun's back out. We're fine. Drove to the Polynesian, and while I was there, like literally from the parking lot, which didn't look like it was going to rain, to the window in the back, it was like what Craig talked about, like sheets and sheets and sheets of rain. It was crazy. So I have stuff that I carry with me at all times during this season. Like, it's a must do. I've said it on the show before, but I've got a couple of new things I've been doing because I'm trying to make it's just, I think everybody prepares for the rain, but it's not just the rain. It's going to be like the heat. With the days where it's not raining, that sun is brutal. And then on top of that, it's our friend humidity who's back again, who never leaves us, but always just sneaks in. Yeah. Where you will just be standing in one place and be drenched. Like, I was sitting on a bench because we were doing that conference call yesterday, and I stood up and I was like, my shirt is soaking wet and I haven't done a single thing. And I was in the shade. And that's actually when you get heat stroke the most, because your body, when it's like 100% humidity, your body can't, the sweat can't evaporate into the air because sweating is a cooling process. And so it increases your internal core temperature, and that's when people get heat stroke. But I have our friend Carly had a wonderful fan with her at our Universal event that we did, that Craig held and was using for about 2 hours. I feel like you had it for a while.
It was a good fan.
Yeah.
It was a really good
fan.
fan.
Just a handheld?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even,
okay.
it's about like, it's probably about this big. I'd say about 4 or 5 inches, maybe, like not that big. The handle bends down backwards because you can attach it to the interior of an umbrella. Mm-hmm. I bought it because I couldn't believe how long Craig had been using it for. That was the part where I was like, this battery is going and going and going. It was probably for like 2 hours without turning it off. And that's where I was like, okay, So I went through and Carly sent me the link and I bought it right away because I was like, okay, it was like $13. I'm going to tell you, like, because we were stuck in a line, the difference that just a little bit of air can make on your mood, on your moment, because I am one of those people, Craig will attest to this, I can feel it starting to happen where I am just going to have a meltdown where I essentially just want to stand and scream as loud as I can because it'll just feel like my body's like, I don't know what to do. It feels like you're killing me right now.
Yeah.
And it's those days when you don't have the umbrella, you don't have the stuff. I'm trying to get everything down to fanny pack sizes. So this little fan, I cannot recommend it enough. I've seen these ones that go over your neck now, and they have the two little guys right here that are... And I am legit, like, I used to laugh at those people, and now I'm like, I think I'm going to buy myself one, my grandpa, my stepdad. I think my whole family's getting those things. So.
Well,
we no
and
longer
fans,
care.
Parents who are using strollers, those fans can attach around the handle of a stroller, and so that because you got to keep your kids cool.
Yeah.
Like we as grown-ups can go, okay, I need to help. I need to help myself feel better, but little ones can't express. I am, on fire right now.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those fans, that's neat.
Yeah.
About that
So
fan.
I can't. I'll show you guys. I can send you the link
well,
if you want, Craig. But
yeah.
I will tell you, like, it's literally it's small enough that it can just slide if I have my backpack right into the. You know how I love the pockets on the side of the bag, which I think are essential for where your umbrella's on one side and the fan on the other.
Yeah.
It's a nice like slip in the back pocket, whatever. I cannot recommend this enough. That's my new favorite thing is this fan.
Yeah, I highly recommend it as well, too. And remember, also, unless a cast member is actively screaming at you to fill in all available space, if you just leave a little bit of extra space between you and the people around you, the body heat will not come together. You will be more pleasant. You will smell better. It's just going to be better for everyone all around. And because there is nothing worse than being at Walt Disney World in the summertime and you walk into a gift store where everyone else is, and it just is like a mixture of farts and body odor, and then like wet socks and just
wet,
every disgusting smell. And the more space you put between you and other people, the more we don't all have to smell it.
Febreze, little travel Febreze size containers for when the shoes get. My tip on the shoes getting wet too. I'm sure you guys all know this, but because this literally that same kind of downpour I got stuck in at Animal Kingdom the other day, and when it's lightning and you're like, I have nowhere for like coverage, you're like, I'm just going for it. Like it was like drenched through. So like penny savers, newspapers, whatever, rip those up, put those in your shoe. That's going to soak up the water. But when you do that, throw in a dryer sheet into each one of the shoes. It's going to make the shoes smell like the dryer, if you've got the scented dryer sheet. So it'll prevent that wet dog smell from happening.
Nice.
Well, and if you're coming here during the summer, so monsoon season, bring an extra pair of tennis shoes. Like have your favorites that you love and break them in before you get here. We all know to do that. But have that extra pair because you can get caught. Like my husband and our youngest is visiting from New York, and I were the three of us were sitting outside of Everglazed having a donut early last evening, and within 5 minutes it rolled in, and it just got ominously dark, and you aren't gonna necessarily have that heads up. Like was being said, like it's not going to necessarily telegraph. Sometimes it does, and it's going to happen. You can watch the radar, and then sometimes it's within 5 minutes, and you have to either take cover or just know that you're going to be soaked.
If you feel that dip in that air, when that moment when you're like, oh, is there air conditioning blowing out somewhere?
Yes.
That's when you know it's gonna. Not only is it going to happen, it's probably going to be lightning. So you really need to get inside. Anytime you can see the lightning, you really should be inside because it can move 10 miles in just a second. So
that was my problem, is that I was watching the lightning actively happening, thinking, I think that's PhotoPass photographers in the flash, and then once you see it up in the sky, it's like, nope, that was lightning. Let me go. But
Skedaddle.
I want to jump on Denny's with the extra shoes, because I think it goes even beyond just having extra shoes. Make sure, I would say 2 pairs, just to be truly, truly safe. But also think about where you are. Like if you are a rental car person and you're driving to the parking lot, don't leave your extra shoes back at the hotel.
Yes.
Put one pair in your car, so that way you can wisely. So if you need to leave, you can go back to your car, change out your shoes, not just shoes. I can't say shoes really well.
Shoes.
I'm trying to say shoes, and it's not coming out well. Not just your shoes, but also your socks, as Lieutenant Dan said very eloquently all throughout Forrest Gump. It is also about the socks. You want to have your dry socks because dry shoes are great, and ice cream also. That's also good advice. You never go wrong with that. But yeah, make sure you just leave it in a smart decision or a smart place and make good decisions about it. If you have a car, leave it in the car. If it's at your hotel, make sure that it is, right in the room, because you'd also don't want to like walk in with your wet socks and track all through the room.
Yeah,
and
or a
gross.
locker even.
Yeah. Oh,
Stow it in a park
Nobody's
locker.
using those. Smart.
I mean, just switch them out and then proceed with the rest of your day.
I like
without
that.
shoes.
I'm going to go a step further, too. In terms of bringing the extra shoes, I think material of the shoe is a big important thing, because if you can get like a vinyl or a faux leather or whatever, sometimes that's not always. Sometimes it's just canvas shoes, and that's all you can get. But that will make a difference in terms of how quickly those shoes are going to get wet. And so I do have a specific pair that has like they're like Nikes that are the faux leather, and so I wear those, even though I don't normally like wearing them like during the regular hot days, because sometimes those heat your feet up a lot more. But it does actively make that difference in the rain. Bringing an extra pair of socks ain't going to save you. The shoes are still wet.
Right. Yeah, you got to have both. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's nothing worse than having soaking wet feet when especially if you're at the back of the park. Like when we first came, you guys all know we're from Seattle, right? It drizzles all day. Drizzles. It's gray all day. It drizzles all day. We had zero earthly idea of what a rain shower was like at Walt Disney World. Just we had no idea. And so the first time we were caught in one, we had these ponchos, because that's what we read that you should bring. And they make you feel so disgusting because it is so humid. We don't have humidity in Seattle. You put this on, it's like you bake a little bit. Yeah. You bake. Inside. And everybody on the internet lied and said that it cools off when it rains.
Oh no, filthy
it does
liars.
Not. Filthy liars. It does not cool off.
It gets worse
when it rains. It's horrific
because it comes up from the pavement after that, because the sun comes back out and you can literally see steam coming up everywhere. And that, if it wasn't humid before, it sure as heck is now. Yeah,
and then you're like, am I sweating to death or am I wet because it got rained on? And then it's just all sorts of disgustingness. So you have to really think about what the best thing to do is, because ponchos, I cannot even recommend them. No. I just can't. I'd rather carry an umbrella. I'd rather schlep it with me all day long.
I bring all of it, honestly. Not the poncho, but I have thought about the poncho in terms of being able to condense when you have tight space. But I do, like, Disney is putting out those rain jackets. They bug me because they are only in women's cuts, but because it's not even like I can pretend. They're really short, and I don't want my tummy hanging out. So it's just I have one rain jacket I carry an umbrella, and then I was like, do I bring the poncho instead of this? But I hate the poncho. They get moldy so quick.
That's do.
So yucky.
Yeah. I'm anti-poncho. It's one of those things, if it's the only option you have, why not go for it? But it just literally, it traps in the humidity and it gets up under you. So then you still end up wet. And there's no such thing as a foolproof poncho to keep you completely dry.
It's just blowing in the wind like you're a ghost at Halloween.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't. And it's a great last case scenario. Like, okay, I need to go, and I don't want to be the person who cuts holes in the garbage bag and runs out, because you will see them and they exist and it's ridiculous. But I don't do it. And even if you go and if you buy $1 poncho from Walmart before you come on your vacation expecting it to do anything, you're going to get exactly what you paid for. And if you pay $20 for a Disney one, you are going to say, why did I spend this much money? Because it did not help enough.
It just works for, I think, if you've got like a backpack that you don't have
Right.
anything to cover up. That's essentially the purpose of that poncho. That's the only reason that time I got caught. I was like, oh, maybe the poncho because I can throw it over my backpack.
Yeah.
And that'll be the one thing that stays dry. That's how I feel about umbrellas, though, too. Honestly, all they're doing is keeping my shoulders
head
and
dry.
up wet. Yeah, my pants are always getting soaking wet.
Well,
but
Yep.
As a
I do have an
glasses
umbrella
wearer,
suggestion.
I like that umbrella.
Yeah.
'Cause even if it's only keeping
That's
this
true.
dry, I can see,
Yeah.
and I don't have it all over my glasses. What were you have an
No,
umbrella?
no, no.
suggestion?
I was going to say I have taken the turn on umbrellas where, like, before I'd be like, oh, these don't do anything. I'm not going to waste the space. But I am just, I don't care anymore. I don't care what I look like while I'm doing it. I don't care anything. I am all about a UV umbrella right now. If you can't get a UV umbrella, I mean, I guess just use a regular one. But I put sunscreen on every day. It is still like you have to reapply that like every 90 minutes to 4 hours or whatever. That is a lot, and you're going to forget, and you are just going to be soaked in this, like, even if it's I don't care how many say non-greasy. I don't care. I don't know where they're testing these, not in Florida. You are going to be like, have a thick palette of this
Yes.
stuff on you.
Oh,
a UV
gosh,
umbrella
yes.
is really, I'm telling you, I have been stuck some places where there's no shade, or if you're in a queue that is outside or whatever, pop that umbrella. Who cares? Sunny day, no clouds in the sky. I don't care anymore. I don't want my face to be burned. I don't want weird sunscreen. And like they make them fairly compact now too, so you can get them for like a little more inexpensive or whatever, but it's double purpose umbrella because then you can use it for the shade
Absolutely.
and you can use it for the rain. So I would say if you are looking at an umbrella, look for that UV one, and that even when it's like no cloud in the sky, still bring it with you. Pop it up when it's really, really hot in the middle of the day, and it'll make a world of difference.
That's really good that you say that, because a lot of times people don't understand that when it's raining, that sun here is so strong.
Yeah.
It is so strong. I mean, a sunny day in different parts of the state could mean that you wouldn't even get even the slightest bit sunburn, but in Florida, you sure will. And even if it's cloudy, even if it's rainy, that sun is still doing its damage to your skin. So that is a really great thing to.
It'll really, like, I was shocked at like what it felt like on my face. Like it wasn't just like, it was like, wow, okay, I have like a 10-degree difference right now in just the area around my face. And
how
you throw on that little
wonderful.
fan with you too.
Great.
I don't care if I look like one of the witches from American Horror Story. I'm
not
gonna walk
matter.
down the street in the middle of the day. I don't care.
Yep.
I don't care.
Rhino, you're also talking about umbrellas with the sense of like your umbrella that fits in a backpack or something compact. If you know it's going to rain, don't be afraid to bring in like a golf umbrella because you know what? Then you can fit 3 of your family members under it with you, and that will keep you much more significantly drier or shadier depending on how you're using it. Yes, you will sometimes look ridiculous when you're the one person who has the big, massive umbrella compared to everyone else. But you know what? It works. And when it is downpouring, your shoes will probably get a little bit of wet. And if it's sideways rain, maybe your shorts, but your upper body's going to fare a lot better as long as your umbrella also does not blow away, which it happens. It happens.
It does.
So windy.
Another suggestion I would make, and I think all of the things that we're suggesting kind of lead in this direction, but bring extra clothes. As parents pack extra clothes for their kids. You can pack extra clothes for you too. Stick them in a locker, put them in the car.
Oh, here's what I
whatever
did
you
yesterday.
gotta
Ziploc
do.
bag.
Yes,
I love my
that's-
Ziploc bags. I folded up the shirt, put it in that Ziploc
That's
bag nice
right.
and tight. Perfect.
You spent so much money to get here. You deserve to have, to be able to enjoy the vacation the way that you want to, within reason, enjoy the vacation. So if it means that you need an extra change of clothes or an extra pair of shoes or a golf umbrella, you do you, and you roll into that theme park with whatever you need to tackle the day. Just kind of do all the worst case scenario planning and bring all that stuff if you need to. And if it makes you feel better to have all that in your backpack or in a locker or back in the room, just do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a dry shirt will do for your personality, your mood. Sorry, your personality. I don't know, but your mood for
No,
sure.
and again, not even when it's necessarily just raining. I mean, there's been how many days where I'm like, okay, it's going to be an all day in the theme park kind of day, and there is nothing like just putting on a fresh shirt. I wish my body could also be clean and I could take a shower, but that takes time, and sometimes you just don't have that. So even be able to just slip on a nice shirt when you're way too hot is a blessing. And the best part is, if you didn't bring a shirt, Disney's got like 1 or 2 available for sale that you might find around. You might get a fun year on it. It might have your favorite character, but I swear, I was just there the other day. I saw T-shirts for sale, and
you can confirm they do sell T-shirts.
Exactly. Yeah, it was not known up till this point, but let's get the article ready. Confirmed.
Okay, I will
Walt Disney World selling T-shirts.
Scribble that down.
Somebody recommended to me this like spray. So I know Carly carried around that, like, she carries around this like little water bottle spray. It's like a
mister.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like sunsprayable sunscreen, but it's a bottle of water.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like Evian branded.
Yeah,
Cute.
yeah. And I was like, you want me to spray this on my face? This is too expensive. Like, but I mean, that did make a difference. But since then, somebody has also recommended, because I was saying like the humidity, I'm just always sweating now or whatever, that apparently Arm & Hammer or like Gold Bond makes a spray that you can spray on your body before you put your clothes on. That's somewhat like somewhere in between, because baby powder. That's what the word I'm thinking of. Okay. But it's like a sprayable baby powder. So it's like, it's supposed to help with like when you are just constantly damp, like myself, like at any given moment, which I currently am in an air conditioned room in the studio. So I know I'm going to give it a try. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't testify for it, but I'm on the lookout.
That's cool.
I'm going to tell you guys about this one though, because sometimes I get some chafing. And there is, my favorite thing is anything that comes in a stick form, right? So my deodorant that I'm putting on my face, my
Please don't put deodorant on your face.
my sunscreen, I can't recommend the sunscreen stick enough, because that is so much easier to apply, especially when you are on the go and whatever. You just can on the neck too, especially and it doesn't roll on like the way the cream-based ones do. But there's also Body Glide that runners use that and this happens to me every so often because I do try and run like 5 days a week. So that you can slide on the inside of your thighs, and it will help with any sort of like chafing from your shorts or your underwear or anything like that.
That's also good for blisters from shoes. So if you've done a lot of walking, you can use Body Glide for that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
And I will take this another step grosser forward, but actually, maybe test out your clothes before time. Like, I will be completely honest with me. I've been very open about
You're
how
being completely honest with yourself.
Yeah. Well, with myself and with everyone, I have not shied away from telling strangers on the internet about how my fat thighs like to slap against each other and cause chafing issues. Yeah. And it's been a problem I've been trying to overcome. I then found out that I was just not wearing the right type of undergarment that would actually be good for when you're outside walking in a theme park all day. And it's so funny. As soon as I switched it up and I kind of did research and found out like what's going to be best, because when I'm running, I have we're not going to get into that, but for just walking and daytime park stuff, I was like, I think I'm using the wrong thing. Researched, bought some new options, and I have not had a chafing problem since then. So.
I'm going to tell you, for speaking from a gentleman's perspective too, the length of that underwear makes a huge difference.
Big part,
because generally I feel like men's trunks or whatever are usually a little bit the 3-inch seam. 9 inches too long for me. It feels like I'm wearing like an extra pair of shorts underneath that go down to my
you're like
my
a
knee.
a 1900s Victorian.
Yes,
bathing it's the pantaloons underneath.
Yes.
But so I find the 6-inch is perfect. Also, they are usually, for me, they have to be a spandex based underwear as well, because those are just so much more. So American Eagle does ones that are really good, and they say on the thing like they come in the different sizes and everything like that. I found there's actually, for me, honestly, a lot of times, and they're fun underwear. Target has like men's underwear that I have a couple pairs of Lion King underwear, Powerline underwear, that are like they're my go-to theme park underwear that I wear because they're just the right length, they're just that right material, and it helps with that
Do
chafing.
you know that every time, because of your merchandise videos and you talking about you loving fun, cute underwear, every
I'm wearing
single
Black Panther
time
ones
we are
right now.
in the theme parks,
love
my
it.
hubby and I will, oh yeah, Rhino would like those. Like, those are great. Rhino
love
would like
that.
those.
Now at Christmas, if anyone's like, I don't know what to get you, you have no excuse anymore. That's what I told my family where I'm like, you know.
That's cute. You know what? Underwear is such a big deal too. Like
is,
really.
yeah. It is.
And the thing is that so when I was younger, it's so funny because there's like so many things that you just don't talk about, right? You know, you don't talk about this. But and then when you get older, you realize that you know what? There's a lot of other human beings in the world, right? That are just like you that also sweat. Right? And we all have kind of the same thing, different shapes and sizes, whatever. But you can pretty much bet that there is another person in this world, quite a lot of people in this world that have the exact same experience or issue that you're having, regardless of what it is, right? So you get on the internet now and you look and you find out. And
Be careful about how you do that Google search, though.
Yeah, be careful.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes, especially with underwear. You might get a little more than what you bargained for on that one. But you know, it's like just research a little because it really can make your world a better place. And who cares? Like Rhino was saying, who even cares what you look like, what you whatever. Like if you're more comfortable,
yeah.
Yes.
who gives a rip what other people think?
Denny said it earlier. It doesn't. You're on, you know, or Craig about the umbrellas and everything. You do.
Yeah,
you do. You know.
Yes.
You do what you got to do to make it through because it is a challenge. And also like. There's the stress of just being whatever. It's your favorite place on the planet. There is still this level that doesn't exist in your normal day-to-day life where you are like, okay, I have things to do, places to be, and now I'm not only combating a herd of strangers that are also equally sweaty and smelly and gross. I'm trying to get through and do all that stuff. So it's like you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. You know?
Yeah. And then if something hurts, it's just a million times worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you get a blister and you don't have any moleskin with you or like especially so one thing we used to do was we'd put the socks and shoes in the backpack and wear flip-flops or Birkenstocks or some kind of slides or Crocs or whoever wore whatever they were comfortable with on their feet that were waterproof. Because even with your umbrella and all your stuff, there's still places for puddles and you're still going to end up, good grief, I slosh through so many like I can't believe it sometimes in the parks. You know, you'll be walking and all of a sudden you just kick a whole ton of water because the concrete goes down.
My favorite is when you find out you have the hole in the bottom of your shoe and you're like,
Right.
why is it wet in my shoe right now? And you're like, oh, the glue around the binding is coming apart on my shoe.
Yeah,
Great.
leave it to the rain to let me know about that.
Yeah.
Also, if you are someone, even in the middle of summer, if you're someone who gets chilled sometimes, the air conditioning in interior queues is on 11. So you know that even though you're hot and musty and it's humidity world outside, you're going to step into that really cold queue for the attraction that you're waiting for. If you need to have a jacket with you, have a sweater, have something lightweight, just an extra layer.
Yeah, a casual smart cardigan.
Yes, perfect. Craig,
Yes.
that's perfect. A casual smart cardigan, please. But yeah, have that because you might be in that interior space for 45 minutes waiting and then riding the attraction, and you don't want to be sitting there shivering. And also, people think it doesn't get cold. I mean, on the flip side of the coin here, people think it doesn't get cold in Florida. It does. It gets cold. February is actually chilly here. And
and not talking about coming out of nowhere sometimes too.
Yeah.
85 one day and then the next day you're like, I love the cold weather,
Yes.
but I understand you come here on your vacation thinking like, oh, I'm going in the pool every day. And
Yep.
then, one day you are in the pool and then that night it's like the temperature drops,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But-
bring layers.
Yeah, well, and that's where I think we're kind of good on the summer weather conditions.
Well, I do want to say
okay, you
one
have
more thing, but
You have one more?
it can wrap that all up together
Okay.
because we did say a lot of stuff. I feel like you are carrying a lot more stuff in the summer, and I know we keep saying about a backpack and all that sort of stuff. I am trying to do that thing where I'm trying to like be just the fanny pack, the side bag, because I've noticed too, like in the summer, even though I need the bag because we carry our camera, and that's why like always like it's easier for me to have that in a backpack instead of just carrying it. You're gonna want to make sure it's not like brand new backpack or something like that. My back gets soaking wet from the backpack. So like we talked about testing stuff out ahead of time. I think walking around the mall are there malls still? I don't know. Okay.
They do exist.
And you can, or like the neighborhood with the backpack. I think that's going to let you know, am I going to be comfortable with this all day? Because you're going to have it with you all day. Because sometimes it does feel like a literal and figurative heavy burden to carry. So that's something to be careful. Also, I cannot overemphasize how important Ziploc bags can be for you, not only for throwing your wallet, electronics, whatever you have in there, and zipping it up during a downpour or whatever, but just also to keep things separate and everything. And then when it's wet and you're trying to put an umbrella or something like that away, you want that big Ziploc bag. You can put that in there so it doesn't get everything else wet. But
you also have them for attractions too, because if you're going on Cali River Rapids, you want to stow all your stuff. So Ziploc baggies all the way around.
Yeah. No, when I was working at Universal way back when, and they would still bring over British kids to work in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. There was one who he just did everything he could do to destroy his passport. So he would walk around with it just in his pocket during rainstorms. He jumped into pools with it, and he got to like his last week there, and he's like, I don't know if they're going to let me back in the country.
Oh my gosh.
Go home, because you couldn't even read it anymore. It was that destroyed.
Oh gosh.
So, it doesn't matter if it's important to you. It's something you want to stay dry. Think about where it is on you, whether it's in a backpack, fanny pack, pocket, wherever. And if you need a Ziploc bag, put it in there. Put it in there. Don't mess around with it.
It's not by Splash Mountain if you didn't bring one.
But okay, so as Denny alluded to, Florida it's summer, I would say probably 9 months out of the year, 10 months out of the year, but then we have 2 months out of the year that are actually winter. So we don't have seasons. We just have we have summer and winter, and that's about it, much to our dismay here. And I'm being a little bit harsh on those time periods. It's really anywhere starting in sometimes late October, but typically more mid-November through then easily through February. It will not be abnormal to see high temperatures in the low 70s, upper 60s, with lows ranging anywhere from the upper 30s through anywhere like right into the 50s. And it will fluctuate. And as Rhino said, you will have 2 days in a row where it will be 90 degrees out of nowhere. And then you might have 2 weeks of just straight cold. And you might be living up in Fargo and in one of the coldest places in the United States and say, it doesn't matter. I go through colder weather all the time. I will be used to Florida. When you get on that plane, your body adapts to what is down here. I tell my parents this all the time. When they would travel in winter, my dad would show up in shorts and a t-shirt and be like, you have pants and a jacket, right? Because you're going to be cold in about like 3 hours. I'll be fine. And sure enough, it gets to that point. I was like, oh, yeah, it's 50 degrees right now and you're freezing, even though you kept saying over and over again, well, our high right now is only 40 degrees. It's just, it's what happens. And I know there are some people who they will be wearing shorts and a t-shirt if it's snowing outside, and that's not a big deal. I'm talking about for normal people in this case. So
it feels different, though. It's like what you said. It's a different type of cold. It's like I don't know if it's because we have so much humidity in the air, but like I've gone home for Christmas and it's been like 50 degrees since I've been living here for so long, thinking like, oh, that'll still be cold for me. It wasn't. Like, it was like, oh, I immediately am like, I'm back in the Massachusetts swing of things. I don't need a jacket on Christmas. But down here, I'd be like, yeah, I need the jacket. So I think it's something in the air pressure or something. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. You guys know.
Well, you know how did you used to fly in, or did you guys
drive? No, I would drive.
So whenever we flew in from Seattle, no matter what time of the year, when you get off that plane, no matter what, you could feel the humidity.
Yeah.
Instantly in the airport. Like it was such a shock. Like,
I always dread that moment.
Yes. Like, it was, I mean, in the summer we expected it, but it was still more shocking than we ever thought it would be. Yeah. And even in the cooler months, we're like, cooler. Yeah. Okay.
Just bring that jacket with you. My sister and her family got caught in one of the freak snow events here one year in January, and you think Florida, no, it doesn't normally snow, but it did. And so they are bundled up. Thankfully, they had their ski jackets with them because they kind of, did all the worst case scenario planning, and they had what they needed. So whatever you think you're going to need, just bring it. And then you've got it as a backup. It does, I've said since living down here, 60 degrees here is very different than 60 degrees in Maryland, like what you were saying, Rhino. And I don't know what that is. I'm sure there are really smart people out there who know exactly what that is, but it is legit cold. And you can tell people who are locals and then those who are visiting from outside Central Florida in the parks, because on those really crisp days in February, we are all bundled up, and there are friends like Craig's dad who are trying to roll around with a t-shirt and shorts on. So
pack for all conditions. It does, you know what? Fly Southwest, so you get those 2 free bags. We have no relationship with Southwest.
You're free to move about the country.
It's my recommendation. Don't want to pay bag fees? Fly Southwest. Now offering. I don't know what they
Pretzels.
offer. Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they are right now. I haven't flown in a while.
They are.
So.
Actually, I just flew in Southwest. That was my first flight after vaccination.
There you go. Okay. Salty pretzels. We have salty pretzels from Southwest.
It's like a snack mix. It has pretzels in it.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm not sold on that anymore. Okay, so weather, we talked about cold weather, we talked about hot weather, we talked about most weather. The only last thing I would throw in is remember, hurricane season basically lasts all through June to right around October. I think is technically the dates it falls in, while most of the activity is pretty much relegated in Florida to that August, September, October time frame. It can technically happen at any point in time, and just be aware of that when you're traveling. Don't be afraid to come to Walt Disney World because it's hurricane season. You can't just like plan your life around being like, I don't want to go there right now. There might be a hurricane. Don't do that. Don't be afraid of it. When there are hurricanes and other weather events at Walt Disney World, they go out of their way to take care of whoever is here. We've all laughed at the jokes of like the snack boxes that you can buy for $20 that will have one piece of bread in it and an apple, and they call it a day on that. But in terms of the hotels, they make sure if there's an inside area that they can, entertain whoever is around the hotel, they'll make sure everyone feels safe and secure during an event. So don't be afraid to come here during hurricane season. That's when a lot of the fun happens, like the Halloween events at Walt Disney World and food and wine. And it's a great time of year. It just so happens that there might be hurricanes in Florida.
Yep. Before one of our trips, that happened to be smack dab in the middle of June one year, we had friends say, "Oh, it's going to be so hot. Why would you go then?" Well, that was the opportunity we had to go, and you get to go when you get to go. Sometimes you don't get to necessarily choose all the optimal everything, but that was the optimal time for us. So we did some planning, and we had a blast while we were here. You can have a blast no matter, how high the humidity is, as long as you do a little prepping and planning ahead of time.
Well, that's a good point too. People who always say like June, I can't go in June. June's the sun. I think people think of summer as June, July, and August, and I want to be like, sure, that's like normal maybe, but like here, September and even in October, it's been till Thanksgiving sometimes can be worse than June sometimes.
Yeah.
Like June. I mean, I think we are this year having a particularly hot season because it has been 90 so many more days in a row than it was last year. But I'm like, a lot of times, honestly, June is not really that bad. Like like maybe when it starts getting into July, August is horrible. Yeah. But
August, September, those are the 2 months, and then October is usually when the shift happens. But it's not. Again, it all fluctuates.
Yeah.
I wish that I could actually predict the weather, and I can't, because one of the questions we get most during like live streams and stuff is, how's the weather? How will the weather be in this point? How will the crowds be at that point? With the weather, I truly cannot say, because there has not been any 2 years that I've
No.
lived in Florida that have been consecutively pretty much the exact same.
Right.
It's always like, generally speaking, you can make rough guesses on it, and like I can say wholeheartedly, August, September are the 2 hottest months. That is the worst it will ever feel. But beyond that, I can't tell you when winter's going to come. I can't tell you when summer will end. I can't tell you. I can't even tell you it'll rain every day at 3 p.m. because that annoys me to no end when I see people who are like, yep, 3 o'clock every day in Florida, it's going to rain.
Nope.
Like, I have lived here for 10 years now. That is not even true. I don't know who's telling you that. It is all so random. And I mean, we're still basically in a drought here in Orlando, even after a bunch of rain in the past like 2-3 weeks. All the lakes around my house are still half full, and it's bad right now.
It's funny because you say no 2 years ago, right? And what was really unfortunate, obviously the pandemic last year and everything, or we're still in a pandemic, but it was the losing of Halloween last year was that's my favorite holiday, but it was also the first time I've lived here where it was actually nice weather. It was cool weather because I wore my Scooby-Doo onesie and I was like, I am so comfortable right now. And the year before I was like drenched in sweat with it, but it was like one of those where I was like, I cannot believe the year where like Halloween was on a Saturday or something. And it was like, I remember walking the dog and being like, I have never, since I've lived here, has it ever been this good of weather around this time of October. And I was like, I think actually last year was pretty moderate in terms of our like weather. So it was really unfortunate. Maybe it's because everyone was sitting still and not doing anything. That's stirring up the weather. That's how it works, right?
Well, I think that's it. I think we should go back on the rails now at this point. We gave you more than you need to know and digest about the weather here in Florida. The basic point is do your prep work and don't let weather ever ruin your vacation at Walt Disney World. It can still be perfect despite the weather not maybe being ideal during your time here. But that's going to do it for this week's show. If you really appreciated this show and you want to support us, of course, book your next vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Get that free no obligation quote at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Make sure again to hit the thumbs up on this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments, questions, and video suggestions. Make sure to subscribe if you're listening to Off the Rails to wherever you listen to podcasts. And if it's through Apple Podcasts, please leave us those 5-star ratings and reviews. But that's going to do it this week for Off the Rails. We'll see you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.